It's Wednesday, December 2nd, and you're watching The Great Lost Rewatch. Today we're talking about question mark. I'll admit it, when Liz and I were going through the list of episodes deciding who would talk about which episode, question mark was the one and only episode where I literally had no memory of that episode ever existing and what happened in it. This is a Mr. Echo-centric episode. We join him in his flashbacks when he is being a priest in Australia, and he's about to take a trip to America, but it turns out that there's been a miracle he needs to investigate. If I had to choose one scene, purely on creep out heebie-jeebies factor, that disturbed me the most, it would have to be the scene where Echo is listening to that tape.
I'll begin with a thoracic.
Oh. Creeps me out. As Echo's ready to go on his trip to America, the girl shows up in the airport saying that when she was in the in-between, she talk to Yemi. On the island, Echo is having a very weird dream where Ana Lucia shows up and says, "You need to help John." Continuing in the dream, Echo goes to the Swan Station and his brother Yemi is there.
You must make him take you to the question mark.
Echo wakes up from this bizarre dream, takes the axe with him, and heads towards the Swan Station. Also heading towards the Swan Station are Jack, Kate, Sawyer, and Locke, and they get to the station, and Michael comes out grabbing his arm saying, "Henry Gale has escaped, he shot me, he shot me." Ugh. Sawyer's checking up on Libby, and...
Gotta get her out of the back room, okay?
And you see that right there? That is Michael's face. Echo shows up saying that John and he will look for Henry Gale together. Of course, he doesn't want to look for Henry Gale. He wants to look for the question mark. And Echo tells John to take him to the question mark. John says, "No, I'm not going to do what you tell me." And Echo says, "Are you sure about your decision, John?" And John says, "Yes."
Then I'm sorry.
Meanwhile, back at the Swan Station, Libby is not doing so great. Michael keeps asking, has she said anything? Jack says that he's kind of done all that he can do for her, and the best that they can do is make her comfortable, and he'll need the heroine to do that. While they're getting the heroine, they run into Hurley, who asks if they've seen Libby, and they let Hurley know the bad news, and they take him back to the Swan. And in one of the most moving scenes, he just apologizes to her over and over that he's so sorry that he forgot the blankets for their picnic. So sad. During this, she kind of has a last surge of consciousness and energy, and she says, "Michael," and everyone assumes that she's inquiring as to whether Michael is okay or not. But then, unfortunately, before she can explain that error, she dies. Back with Mr. Echo and Locke, we think that we're witnessing another dream that Mr. Echo is having with his brother Yemi. Yemi tells Echo to climb up the trees, and then we learn that it's not, in fact, Echo having this dream, it's John. Like the dream, Echo climbs up the cliff looking for something, and he looks around, he doesn't see anything, and then he looks down, and he sees that the Beechcraft plane is sort of the period part of the question mark. Echo and Locke move the Beechcraft, and they find another hatch. It looks like that they're the first people to be there for a while, but of course they're not. Let us not forget that Paolo has been there. Okay, I'm holding off my hatred of Nikki and Paolo until later. They descend down into the station, and they look around. Another one.
This is the orientation film for Station 5 of the Dharma Initiative.
The Pearl is an observation station where the participants are to write down and record the activities of everyone in all the other Dharma stations. In fact, we can see Jack in the Swan. It's the last straw in that John Locke feels that pushing the button is not important. Echo steps up to the plate saying, "If you will not push the button, John, then I will." Here you have Locke, who's kind of more of a paganistic character, kind of believing in the older religions, philosophies that go with that, if you will. And then you have Echo, who's obviously a very Catholic individual, and the idea that they both kind of have a singular purpose, yet come from different faith backgrounds is really interesting. Michael, who's looking at the dead body of Ana Lucia and then glaring at the button in a very evil way. And that's where we're going to leave it today, with evil Michael glaring. Liz, you're talking about 3 minutes tomorrow, so I'll see you then.
We're gonna need to watch that again.
And this really is the final nail in the coffin for poor John Locke. Sorry. Coffin. Locke. Just got... It didn't mean to be funny.